Hey,
We could
so
just
you,
like
you didn't have to use the virtual background.
I did have to use the virtual background because the last time you talked about my blank wall behind me, and you was like the next time you was like, how long you been there? So it's been like 3 months now, I think.
Yeah,
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 3 months.
yeah. I think it has been 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think today or either tomorrow is 3 months. So I really have no excuse other than I just been busy. I've been super busy. But the worst part about it is my closet is like a complete mess. So I just pulled all of this stuff out. Like, okay, boom,
Hmm.
I'm gonna order this to put this here, and I'm gonna order a bookcase for this. And I like the fact that I can actually walk around in my closet now. So it's just stuff everywhere. So even though I've been here 3 months and don't have anything on this wall, it's worse because I got stuff all over the place. It looks
Oh
crazy.
wow! Did you hear that did you hear the music that I had playing when you came
Uh,
on?
no, what did you have? Did you have your album playing?
I did not have, but I was working on some other
That's
stuff.
what you need to have playing. Like
I,
that.
I,
Let's talk
I
about
was
that.
I was working on some other stuff though, but I was working
Mm.
on this. Can you hear
Like,
that?
are you playing it now?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
I can't. I can hear something. Okay, now I can hear it. Okay. So this is some new R.
Yeah, it's new. It's new. I
Okay.
just trying to work on some different stuff. I can't get it to stop now though.
Well, the good news is now you can't hear it. So if you are like trying not to have it where people can hear it, you can't hear it. But
Okay.
man, look, I gotta think like it's been a couple of days because I've been kind of
Okay, you went out again. You out. I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. Nothing's coming through on your side. Try try whatever earpiece you got in, try taking it out. But what up though? What up though? What up though? We are back again. This is episode 21. Just trying to get some technical difficulties together. We got Sasha on the other end, but she has some issues with her sound. Um, but she did bring up the album that I came out that we dropped, and I hear you coming in like I hear it scratching on your end, Sasha. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can always hear you. I think it
Okay,
was just my microphone.
now you're back.
When I picked up my phone, it was going off of the microphone off of like this. But
Okay, now you're back. I can hear you now. Hear you now.
okay. I
So
hate to mess your whole thing up. Did you? Oh no, you still recording.
no, I'm still recording. Still recording.
I was
Hey,
okay. It's like, how did you just in the middle of it talking about something? What's up? Doing an intro.
hey, I mean, we was recording and we was already recording, but hey, I want everybody to know
Oh, okay,
we in the
okay.
house. We in the house doing our thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see here. See if you can see that. Since she was bringing up the album, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So yeah, it came out February the 13th, as you can see. Getting some pretty good reviews about it. I played a little bit of it, just go through and play a couple songs. I mean, not the whole song, but just little pieces of it.
You remember back in the
Go to the next one.
Sometimes the heart don't ask for permission. It move on its own time. Two people feel the same thing, but they standing on different lines. One want that, one rules, one something they can grow. The other still healing quietly, still scared to let control go. They laugh, they touch, they vibe, everything feel alive. But when it comes going deeper, that's when time draws the line. Ain't nobody wrong here, ain't nobody playing games. Just two truths in the same room that don't move the same. The heart one, but the heart one. You, I don't fall fast, I fall deep. When I get my heart, it don't come cheap. I listen more than I speak, and I speak. I know this patterns most people miss. I don't love loud, I love true. Stay present in the quiet too. But lately love feel misunderstood. Like that ain't welcome like it used to. Everybody chasing moments, nobody holding weight. They won't sponsor at the fire, comfort at the faith. So I move slow now. I love my space. Still believe in love, just not the chase. I still love, yeah, I love hard. Choose my peace over scar. Oh, I love my space. Still believe in love, just not the chase. I still love.
All right, I just give little snippets of it. It is on all platforms. You can go pick it up. You can look up Time and Attention, Randy Graham, Time and Attention, and you should be able to find it and everything. So I just like it, Sasha. Did you listen to the whole thing?
I loved it.
Oh,
And to be honest with you, I hope you go back and like overlay like the actual audio, because I don't think, maybe it's because of my earphones, I don't think that did it any justice. Like when you actually hear it directly from Spotify, it's just feel good music. I loved it. The whole album is a vibe. Like I haven't listened to it in a couple of days. Like there was one point where I was like, oh, I listened to it. And then I was doing something the next morning. I was like, matter of fact, let me listen. Like, I think I might have been listening to something else. Like, might have been my Eric Bellinger. It could have been whatever. I was like, you know what? Let me hear Brandy. Like, that was a vibe. I want to feel that again. Like, I love the album. Seriously. And I was trying to remember, like, I've listened to it so many times, but I don't know which one is my favorite. Like, I was trying to, like, there's one that is my favorite, but I don't remember the name of it. So I was wondering if you were going to get to it. But before you had started, I was going to say, you remember like back in the day when you're on the radio in your car and there's the scan button. I think they still might have them now, where how you can like scan through the radio stations and it'll play like the first 10. I'm like, that would have been cool. Like if we had that feature, like if you kind of like sample it real quick. Like Spotify needs to add something like that.
And I think they, well, I know Apple has it. If you're not a member of Apple, you can scan each song or whatever. But I don't think nobody else really has that. I don't. That would be something cool to do.
That would, because I was like, is he gonna get to my phone? Like, what is my song?
We need to send that idea to Spotify. They might. Yeah,
they'll steal it and they won't give you credit for it because I heard.
That's probably what happened. They probably watch this and steal it. Next thing you know, you'll see it on there.
Right. Did you see the one? It was about this girl. I think she was like an intern, and I hate to say this just in case I'm quoting this wrong, but she for some type of internship, she came up with that Wrapped, like how at the end of the year, Spotify Wrapped. It'll give you like a summary of what you listen to.
Yeah. She came. Somebody else came up with that, and they didn't give her no credit.
They didn't give her no credit, and I don't think they hired her. So that's I'm like, that's really messed up.
The game is jacked. So the game is real jacked up everywhere. And when I say the game, I ain't talking about like music industry. I'm talking about just life in general. The game is messed up.
Absolutely.
I was just talking to some guys about, housing and real estate and stuff. And was just talking about how, a guy making $56,000 a year by himself, most likely in the economy here in the Atlanta area, won't be able to buy a house. Not he'll have to, unless he got a lot of money saved up or somebody gave him some money to save up, without some other income coming in and being able to prove some other income coming in. The only thing they'll give him is about $150,000-$200,000. That's just enough to buy a condo or a townhouse in the hood, and not buy a house. You know what I'm saying? Not be able to buy a house. And it would be good if the prices went down. They are going down a little bit. I'm seeing that here, but it's just the game is messed up everywhere, and then they taking people ideas and not paying them for them. That's crazy.
Yeah, apparently, because I had to look it up. Apparently, she was an intern in 2019, and so we'll give her a little shout out right now to Jewel Ham.
Jewel Ham.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy. I wish I had some money to hire her. She probably got crazy.
Yeah, like I kind of briefly looked over it, but it was like I guess apparently back in the day, like Spotify had their own version of it, but they would send you a link to go look at something. So what we see now, how it kind of comes up in that little, I don't even know what to call that, wallpaper type thing. And I think it's really cool because it's interesting. Like if it was a link, I probably would never click on it. But the fact that you kind of go open up Spotify towards the end of the year and you see this, like, that's what I was listening to most. Yeah, like that sounds about right. Like, yeah, I really was. It's interesting to see it change from year to year too. Because I remember like one year where you could clearly tell I love Big Sean and Bryson Tiller.
That's your guy, Big Sean.
Those are my guys. Yeah, but I think for 2025 it was like, I don't know, Big Sean, he did make the cut. And D1, who's a gospel Christian, he's a Christian who raps. I don't know what to really classify him as. And then Eric Bellinger. Yeah, I'm very simple, which explains why I like your album so much, because it was really right in line with what I listen to. Like that's my vibe. I like to be more chill and mellow versus turn up.
That's where I was at. I mean, a quick tidbit. I started in the gospel world. That was where I kind of started in music in the gospel world, working up under some other artists or whatever, and kind of was like a roadie for a couple of artists, and I was on a little small label, and some things. I don't even want to get into that whole story, how that's that crazy.
Well, that's crazy though, because it sounds like an interesting story. Like
it was an interesting story. It's very interesting. So my brother then was making beats and producing songs and doing stuff like that since like 96, my stepbrother. And then he started going to church. Well, I don't even know if that's how he went to this studio with this guy that just was renting the studio out, but the guy was a gospel guy, but he was renting the studio out, and he kind of talked him into doing gospel music, and was telling him, stop doing the music you're doing and blah, blah, blah. I started going over there with them. They talked me into starting to write and doing stuff. And I will say, even though me and that guy that started that, the guy that owned the label or whatever, I will say that even though we didn't end off on good terms, he did teach me a lot about producing and mixing down and using the different things in the studio or whatever. Then I started going to other studios, learning all the rest of the stuff that I learned. But he did kind of start me off. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting because at some point, I don't know, this is the part of the, at some point, church folks always get into some extra stuff. I don't know where they come from with this stuff. But for some reason, he decided he wanted to run a church through his label and wanted us to start paying tithes to him and all this different stuff. And I went down with it. He came with this contract that he wanted us to sign, and it was like, I'm not signing no contract. We had I kept my word to him. Everything I said I was going to do was what I was doing, but I wasn't about to sign a contract telling me I got to pay tithes to a church and come to service on these certain days and stuff like that. I was like, I'm already going to a church. I'm not about to join another church. Like it was crazy to me. And so it ended up. I have to tell you the rest of the story offline because
okay.
the rest of the story ended up being a little crazy. But he it didn't end that way. I ended up start working with another group, and followed them around for a while, and went to ministry school all during this time.
What?
And yeah, I went to ministry school and all that during this time. I know I seem like I'm a heathen and don't tell, I can't tell.
You
Whatever.
said it, not me. Let me stop
Whatever.
messing with you. I don't judge. I don't
Whatever.
judge.
It's a lot of heathens that's at church. But yeah, I went to ministry school, and started working with this other group. Then my oldest son's mom was in a gospel group, and started working with them, and the label that they were on at one point. I started recording at that studio, but I never joined the label. And different things happened, life happened. Me and her started messing around, and she had a baby, and we got married, and then all other stuff happened. And I gave up music for a little while, and I went back to it. And I love music. Music is gonna always be a part of something I'm doing. I'm 49 years old and still doing music. I still love to write and everything. And so what came out of that was me and my son. We made an album a few years ago, a rap album together a few years ago. He did all the beats, I did all the rapping. And then he asked me, was I going to do another album, another rap album? I said, yeah, I think I am. And I started writing, and just to be honest with you, all the shit that I was writing sounded corny to me. I wasn't in the mind frame, and this is what I had in me. This project was what I had in me. It was so putting together a lot of different elements of writing. I wrote or whatever, putting some stuff together that I was writing as far as lyrics for other songs for rap, but then like kind of changing it up, and then getting some singers together to sing a little bit for me, and then I had to stack different stuff. I did a couple of background vocals on a few of the songs, and then also using a little bit of AI to kind of help me with sounds that I couldn't play myself, things that I couldn't play myself. Just people don't know it's a lot of programs out here that you can use. You can hum into some programs and hum a tune into some programs, and it'll actually play it out in a certain instrument for you. The tune that you want. So it's so many different things out here that you can use, and a lot of this stuff don't even cost half or nothing. If you got any type of creative juices in you, can make music if you like to. So I did that and put it all together. Got this, I got this little small studio down here, and we worked it out and made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love it. So, matter of
Well,
fact, let's just go ahead and give you, you deserve it. I would stand.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? What's been going?
Everything, but life is great.
Okay.
That's all I want to. I mean, I don't even know where to start. So when there are a lot of moving pieces, I think I'm at a point now where I just want to be silent and actually have more action, because when you have so many skills, and it's time that I practice, giving myself my own flowers. But when you have so many skills and sometimes your focus like keeps shifting, like, okay, well, it's this time, so I should be focusing on this right now because I feel like people need this. And then you have like all of these ideas, but then life kind of gets in the way where you're just in your routine. That's what I found recently, that I'm just always in my routine. So these new things that I want to implement, I don't really have the time to implement them because, one, I have to do everything and the budget just doesn't allow for help right now, So more than anything, even though two companies that I've been working for lately, helping, they don't know this yet, but the biggest thing is I will be quitting both. So I can focus on mine, because that's when I realized, like last week, I took a whole week, when people were hitting me up, I'm like, okay, I can't really do anything right now because I'm trying to put X, Y, and Z in place, because originally I wanted to quit by yesterday. I love numbers. 222 is like a number, like that means something to me.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, okay, you got one more week. But then that's when I came to realization, like, even though I didn't do anything fun, like some days I didn't even come out of the house, nothing changed. Because when I had that little bit of free time, I was just washing dishes, like just regular stuff that needed to be done that even if I would have ignored it, it probably would have caused so much clutter. Because I don't know if that's ever happened to you when you have so much to do. Sometimes the challenge is trying to prioritize. Like, what's the thing I need to do right now? Because it's all important, right? So now
Yeah.
it's like, I need to just, but and sometimes I would find myself, oh, well, this is only going to take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then that doesn't work, right? So when I would find myself trying to prioritize, I would get stuck down a rabbit hole because even though I'm a contractor and that's not an employee, I will
Mhm.
say, I don't know if anybody can relate to this. I felt like an employee because I still have time commitments where somebody's expecting me to be available.
Expecting
So
you to
I
be
don't really
available.
have the exactly. So I don't have the flexibility. And so as I was like, both of those are so unorganized. And I was
Yeah.
trying to help them because ultimately I feel like my purpose in general and anything that I do is to uplift and encourage and be a resource and to help people. And that's what I
Yeah.
was trying to do. I was trying to help them get to a place. And then last week I just realized I can't help them. I need to help myself, put myself out there and get
So
some clients that really need my help and will listen and stop trying to do things their way that doesn't work. Because with a client, if I'm saying if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. Like kind of fire me or I'll fire myself. Go get somebody else that you want to listen to, right?
yeah,
With them, it's a little bit different. It's just anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And
I
when
got you.
things really get in motion, I'll share a little bit more details. And
That's
hopefully you'll see some content coming out really soon. But I will give
good.
you a little hint and say I really want to focus on small business owners right now.
I remember you
So
saying
I will help. Yeah, anybody that comes to me that needs my help, I'm going to be here. But when it comes to me actually focusing and creating content, I want to focus on small business owners right now.
that. Okay. And can you give me an idea, like what kind of content are you gonna make for small business owners? Just one, maybe one or two ideas that you.
You know what, Randy? I love that you asked me this because out of everything that I just told you, you're pretty much making me accountable. Like, because I'm about to put it out here and then I'm actually have to do it because then people going to see if it ain't done, right? Like, so
That's
I
right.
appreciate that, right? So right now, with it being tax season, quote unquote, I really want to give advice about things that you do for deadlines. Like maybe if you've been considering S Corp election status, like just reminders. As you know, I talk a lot, so I'm gonna try to keep it brief. So one would be like reminders of the deadline to do that. If you do have a business return, such as a S corp or a C corp, then your tax return is due March 15th versus April 15th. And if you're not going to be ready, it might be in your best interest to file an extension and pay your estimated taxes because whether you file an extension or not, taxes still due. So, it's going to start accruing interest
Yes.
and or penalties from the day that it was actually due. So just doing that. Also, when it comes to if you're looking to purchase real estate, the importance of making sure that your tax return this year reflects
Hmm.
income in a light that is going to put you in that position. Because we know when you're purchasing real estate, most times they're going to look back at your tax returns like the past 2 years, right?
That's right.
And when it comes to business owners, the biggest advantage of being a business owner is you can take a bunch of deductions, right? But at the same time, those deductions will decrease your net
Increase
income,
your net income. Yes.
right? Which make it hard and harder for you to qualify. So pretty much putting out content like that, how important it is to actually be having a tax strategy for the 2 years up to when you're planning on purchasing. So, a lot of times in the industry, when we're dealing with individual buyers, a lot of times we hear, I'm waiting until next year. I'm waiting for interest rates. I'm waiting for home prices to go down. It's always they're waiting until next year.
Waiting for
And
something.
so they're waiting for something, right? And here's the thing, it's like,
Something that's never gonna happen.
they're wishful, they're hopeful. I love it. Like
I do too.
right now, Black History Month, Sounds of Blackness, be optimistic, whatever the real name of the song is. I get it.
Yeah.
Be optimistic. I get it, right?
Whatever.
Right? But the thing is, it's like, and one thing that I like to tell people is like, that's fine, but I feel like right now you should find out what your position is. So by the time next year comes, you are ready, right? But when you're a business owner, it's not next year, it's 2 years, So that's another thing that I just want to focus on, like actually doing some strategic planning. There might be some years that you're not going to be able to write off a lot of deductions if you're planning on purchasing real estate. Otherwise, you're going to be amending and doing all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. And then also with it being about this, it is almost March, right? This is the time that you need to start preparing for how 2026 is going to go, right?
Okay.
A lot of people this time of the year, they're trying to figure out, oh my God, how can I lower my taxes? Well, you can't do anything for 2025. 2025 is done. If it was going to be done in 2025, it was supposed to be done by December 31st. There are a few exceptions, like, a Roth contribution or something like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't have any tax advantages right now. The advantage is it grows tax free, right? So
Yes.
that doesn't really affect your taxes. So more of if you're trying to figure out how you can save taxes, you need to know those things now. You need to be reaching out now. And again, just some of the things that I've seen with the people that I'm working with that I don't like. I also want to talk about the importance of keeping accurate books. It has been amazing to me to see how many people have businesses, don't want to provide a receipt, don't want to tell you what it is, want you to guess about it, and then expect their financials to actually help them make decisions. But what I'm realizing is a lot of them don't realize that accurate financial statements can help you make decisions. They just do it because they know they have to. They know that
Yeah.
they need financial statements in order to file a tax return. And if you don't file a tax return, you're going to go to IRS jail. So yeah, that's kind of like things that I've seen that I
Not
just want
the
to help people.
IRS jail.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, whatever it is, whether you think you're going to jail, whether you think you're paying fines or whatever, like, you don't want to be in trouble with what is it called? Three things he don't mess with. You remember Luther?
Yeah. I don't want to be in trouble with those. Not them alphabet boys.
Exactly.
The alphabet
So,
boys ain't them ain't the people you want to be messing with.
exactly. So that's really where I want to focus right now because I don't know. I'm a CPA that cares. Like I'm telling you, I'm not quitting these jobs lightly. Like this is something that I have gotten a message that I need to do. Like, I mean, I ain't trying to get spooky deep on you, but from God, like I have gotten so much confirmation, so many reminders since the year has come in, and I've just been sitting over here.
I, I find that
Yeah,
funny. Just because I don't go
go
to
ahead.
church don't mean I don't believe in God. I know God speak to people and
Well,
speak
we
to
know
the
you
hearts.
believe in them.
So,
If you was up here you was going to theology school. Now I ain't never went that far. Like,
no,
what I'm saying?
don't mean I don't believe. I just don't believe in religion. That's what I don't believe in. But
Okay,
I believe in God.
I feel you. And I mean, I guess my thing is, I believe in God, and I kind of struggle with this, right? Like, I
Mhm.
know that when you are a follower of Christ, Christian, however you want to put it, because I know people, are you a Christian or you follow, like, whatever. They want to dissect everything, right?
Yeah.
But I do know that it's not enough just for you to be in your own world, having your own relationship with God. Like, ultimately, part of being a Christian is sharing the gospel. But I think my thing is, I want to share it in a relatable way. So that's why like when I'm like, I don't want to be like, I got a message from God, because sometimes you ain't got to say all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you in this particular situation, it has just been in my face to the point that it's like so uncomfortable. And I found that, just to be honest with you, since you asked me, I found that lately I feel like I'm one of the people that I try to encourage instead of being myself. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Like
Yeah.
how,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So like for me, I know I cannot be an employee. I've done it before. I put in like I literally worked as an employee for 23 years before I was like, yeah, I'm retiring from corporate America. Now I have gone back and done, contract work here and there. But being an employee, W-2, it does not work for me. I don't see anything wrong with anybody being an employee. I wish it could work for me. It just got too stressful for me. Maybe it's because it was corporate America, whatever. And so one thing I would like to tell people is like everybody needs a business for the reasons that I just said. There are so many tax advantages to it. The tax code is set up to benefit businesses. It's never going to benefit an individual. Everybody needs a business. So if you have a W-2, use that to invest in yourself in whatever you truly believe in.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people don't hear that message. It's more like, well, businesses are hard. Everybody ain't meant to be a business owner. This is just the way it is. And they just kind of accept their situation and they just kind of stay in it, whether they're happy or not. Like, nobody likes their job. Everybody has to work, I can't do that. Like, whatever. They just find all of these excuses to stay where they're at instead of trying to do something different and trying to be happy. And I found out that that's kind of what I was doing. Like I said, I kept getting all these notifications. I'm like, well, if I quit right now, I don't know how I'm gonna make that 7,000 contribution to the Roth IRA by April 15th. Like, I got a deadline. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, ain't no probably. I owe taxes from last year, right? Because I didn't make my last quarterly payment. And I know that was due in January. So I know that I'm gonna have to pay a little bit of interest on that. So I need that as well. So it's like, why would you quit if you haven't fully stepped in to your business? Like, you've been over here doing this as a quote unquote employee, so you haven't stepped into it. So it's like, well, I'm going to try to do this and I'm going to do this on the side. Once I start doing some content and people actually know the services I'll provide, then I'll get I'll get clients, and then I'll be fine. But like I said, I realized that day is never coming because when I got free time, I'm maintaining. I'm not doing anything. There was always something that needs to be done, and I'm the only one around here to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, no, you're coming up with the same excuses that you don't understand how other people have them. And it's like, if you don't truly believe that, then you need to step out on faith and do what God is telling you to do. And I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know if I was gonna quit yesterday, like I had planned on it. And I'm sitting here and somebody reaches out to me. And I got 2 other clients on the tax. Okay. So I just thought about, if these things just fell in my lap, imagine where you could be if you actually put in the effort to share content. Because it's not about me necessarily doing everything. Trust me, I don't want to do everything. You hear me over here complaining right now how I got 4 hours and it's just maintaining, right? But it's just like, if I can help somebody be better, that's good. Because, like, for instance, if I'm telling you something, you might not need my help. You might do it yourself, but you might run into somebody else like, oh, well, I learned this from this person. And like, yeah. I just feel like you put information out there, you're going to be blessed. So really right now, my only goal is to put the information out there. I get a little overwhelmed thinking about creating content, trying not to talk too much to make it a video somebody's going to actually watch. And then I'm going to have to go back and edit it and not critique it. That's where I'm at with it.
So my suggestion is...
Okay, I'm listening.
My suggestion is to... I don't know exactly what type of content you're creating, but my suggestion is to get in the process of, do you use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or any of those things?
I have, because I feel like my idea is so out there that I'm like, am I crazy? Because like I said, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like, with mostly that's because of the jobs, right? Because I'm literally working like 9 hours a day with these other 2 clients. But I'm literally like thinking like, is it too much to be a CPA, a realtor, and a loan officer? But I feel like they work together. So how do I kind of market this where I don't sound like I'm all over the place? So yes, I do ask ChatGPT to make sure I'm not crazy.
Yes. So I think as far as like content for creation, you should prompt it. Use a prompt of, if you're doing something for CPA, use a prompt where, hey, give me some ideas for content, or if you got an idea already, whatever that idea is, and help me to write a 5 or 10 minute script for this, and give me and tell me how to put it together.
I feel that, but let's pause on that. Do you really think anybody in 2026 gonna watch a 5 or 10 minute anything? People's attention span is not there.
I think you kind of. I do think people will watch. Let me put it that way. I do think people.
Okay.
Even if you don't want to do the 5 or 10 minutes, you just want to do something for TikTok, the 1 minute script. How long is a TikTok video? How long can you do a TikTok video for?
I don't know, but I do know people's attention span is not, especially on social media. I'm guilty of it too. You just want to scroll and keep consuming. But I will tell you this, the challenge is the type of topics that I am knowledgeable in. It's kind of hard to even explain much in a couple of minutes. That's why I'm like, you know what, I might have to just do a video saying, hey, just let you know about the deadline on this. Like, that's where my challenge comes in. Like, how do I keep it concise?
and that's why I say like you should maybe use that to, I mean, basically, because from what I could tell is people when they have stuff that they like, some of the real estate agents that I've seen online, they'll get online and talk about something that I know they could talk about for an hour, but
Mm-hmm.
they condense it down into that 1 minute frame. And somewhere I'm like, I was trying to figure out how they do it, and then I started watching it. I can't think of her name. I think it's Krista. I think her first name is Krista. I can't even remember where she's from now. It's a white lady. She's a little bit, maybe around my age. Um, and she talks about, she was making all these, she was doing all this stuff before AI was getting big or whatever. But now she talks about how she uses AI to help her to condense things and break things down even further so that she can,
Yeah.
so that it can be real quick. And it actually helps her to make the video, tell her, okay, put something here for the video, put something there for the video. So it's the way you prompt it. And everything like that. But I do think that it can help you to bring it and put it in that box that you're trying to put it in, so that it
Yeah.
can't be that 1 minute box. But back to your question, I do think people watch five too, because I do. So I do think that there are people out here that watch, because from my understanding, I was watching something, they was talking about how many people actually watch YouTube on their TV and not on the phone.
Yeah.
So
One of my best friends is like that. It is amazing how you will walk in her house and she's watching like this cable. And I remember the other day, I was like, you know what? I did it just because I'm like, instead of just cutting on a movie that have some background noise that you're not going to pay attention to. Because the funny thing is, I'll find myself scrolling to find something that's halfway interesting. And then
mhm,
I'm barely, it's like it's over there playing and I'm over here doing something else. I was like, if anything, you should put like on a webinar or like a podcast from YouTube. So I'm actually
yeah,
starting to get into that. But I
yeah,
just feel like, I guess, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out this whole marketing thing. That is the biggest challenge because truthfully, I'm not a marketer, but I feel like if you own a business, you have to be a marketer. Like that's the only way you're going to get
well,
clients.
yeah.
And so,
I think that's just the we have, America in general has gone that route. It's not, we don't have a lot of manufacturing stuff going on in America anymore. It's all about content. It's all about intellectual
hmm
property. And so marketing yourself. I remember somebody told me, a good friend of mine told me, she was like, you don't promote yourself enough. She's
yeah,
like, you need a PR person because you do all this stuff, but don't nobody know that you do all this stuff. It's amazing how many people didn't know that I did music.
yeah.
I,
Look, I barely knew.
um, yeah, it's amazing, because I don't, and I mean, it ain't amazing. I can't say it's amazing. I don't push it because it's not. To be honest with you, it's not something that I look at as an income stream. I look at it as a it's something that I'm doing to get stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's fun for me. It's healing for me at times. You, you know, when I go through stuff, I write, and that's what happens. I wrote a whole script last year, a whole movie script last year, because had stuff inside me. I was like, okay, I think I can write a movie script about this, and I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I get down. But I don't market myself enough, right? So those things like that. Like right now, I am working on trying to either shop the movie script or find a way to get it created. But again, that takes money, that takes time, and
Mm.
so we'll see what happens. But even that, like, I'm in the process of writing another book. A book. Well, I can't say another. Well, I wrote a book. As you can see, I got books that I wrote, but I'm in the process of writing an actual fiction novel, and
Okay.
so that's been kind of that's a little different for me because I have these ideas and they're in my head, but then trying to actually write it out is the problem. Or I can't say the problem, but it's hard to get down there and like start writing it and
Yeah.
make it something that I would want to read myself, because that's, I think, even when I make music, it's like, would I listen to this in my car? would I drive down the street and listen to this. And even in some of the music that I have done in the past, there's songs like I got albums where there's songs were like, yeah, I should have not did this song. because I'm listening. You know, when I first did it, I was happy, but now you know down the line it's like, yeah, I don't. This is not one of my favorite songs. I skip over, just like I would skip over any other artist. So so it's just you know, I try to make stuff that I think people will like, and try to do stuff that I think people would like, but I don't market myself. So like you said, marketing yourself. I think that's my biggest issue with real estate. A lot of times that I don't market myself and don't
exactly
make the
people
calls.
don't know what we do.
Yeah, and so this is part of it. This is doing content is part of it. I need to do more content as far as just real estate content. I need to do that. But you know, this was the reason why I started this platform so that I could have content, talk about different things, get used to being in front of a camera. You know, do those types of things because it takes time to get out of that. You know, just kind of doing, you know, because normally, like you said, stuff just happens to fall into my lap a lot of times. You know, so
Yeah. Well, I do want to just say one thing real quick. Shameless plug on your album.
mhm.
This project is no skips, so
I
I think
appreciate
it's
that.
timeless. So
I think
yeah,
I got one that I do skip. I ain't even gonna lie. I already kind of skipped.
really.
But it's not that I'm not gonna lie to you. I played with that song 3 or 4 times before I actually I thought about not even putting it on that.
Hmm.
But I wanted something a little different. And so I'm not gonna say the name of the song. But getting people here and then they be like, I'm
Right.
skipping.
You should have people try to guess which one it is, and then you should
Right.
like tell us if we're right.
But it was a little different for me. So so it you know, it was like, okay, I need a song like this. I feel like I need a song that fits this mode, but I don't know. So but you know, if I'm just playing the music, like if it's just playing in the background, do I kind of bob to it? Yeah, I do. I still bob to it. I think it still got a bob to it, but it's just like it ain't. I don't know. It ain't my style necessarily.
It's not a favorite.
It's not a favorite. Yeah.
I got you. And it's funny because I have a couple of songs like not on your album, but just in general where like I have a playlist and you know I might play be like, or let's say I start the playlist and I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to hear that. And then you just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna let something play. And then you realize like after it plays, like I'm glad I like when it first comes on, you think that you're not really in that mood, but then the more it plays. So I think because I'm trying to think, I think there was a song where I was like, okay, like this wasn't one of my favorites, but then as it rides out, it's just like, oh no, like you find yourself like grooving to it, you know? So I don't know. So I'm gonna figure out which like I need to listen to it. Like I said, I haven't listened to like a week, and then I'm gonna ask you if that's the one.
All right, yeah, let's do that. Yeah. And yeah, so that's just doing those types of things. Hey, I don't know, because I was talking about YouTube. We was talking about YouTube, and I watch YouTube all the time. It's this guy on there. I'm gonna say his name, FD Signifier. I watch his stuff. I don't always totally agree with everything he says, but he did a 4-hour video. He did
You watched it?
I watched it in segments. I didn't watch it.
No.
Yeah, I watched it in segments. And again, like if I was doing stuff, so it just had to play in my ear or whatever. So I didn't have to, because he's talking. You don't have to see everything that he got going on in the background and stuff because he's talking. But he's a good content creator. A lot of these guys, they make content on YouTube, and they got these other places they make content because YouTube has so much. They have so many things going on, copyright and stuff like that. So a lot of these guys go to other places like Patreon or Nebula, and they make stuff. I don't feel, I feel like you got to have a following. Like I don't think we have a following enough for me to be talking about, oh, let's go get a Patreon and Nebula. But they have followers on YouTube, and so then they put exclusive stuff on there, which I'm not with either one of those, so I don't watch it. But it was a 4-hour video about Tyler Perry.
That's even worse.
It was a 4-hour video about Tyler Perry,
Okay.
and it actually was pretty interesting. I thought some of the stuff that he said was pretty interesting. Like I said, I don't agree with everything he says. Like he's one of those. He's one of the black people that I kind of come across that talks about the negatives of black excellence and talks about capitalism and the wrongs of capitalism and how black people don't need to be trying to do capitalism, whatever. And I don't totally agree with that. Like capitalism is the system we live in, so you got to work within it. I think the evil side of capitalism we should be doing, hurting people or doing stuff like Spotify did. That girl, she came up with an idea, pay her for. Don't steal people's ideas and stuff. I think that's the evil side of capitalism. But but it was an interesting take that he had. Different takes he had. He's not a Tyler Perry fan, of course. Anybody to do a 4-hour video on somebody, you can't be too much of a fan. But it was
Can you?
It was pretty interesting because I can't see doing I can't see having a 4-hour video where I'm talking positive about somebody for 4 hours. I just can't even see where I would have the time because if you like somebody, you like them. Hey, I like this, I like that, and then it's over. Like what I'm saying. But you can pick out every nook and cranny about somebody that you don't like. So I can see how that would happen. But it is something that he had been saying he been gonna make for some years, I guess. And people, his fan base have been asking for it for some years.
So was this like a live where he was talking to other people? Or this was...
No, he actually makes these videos, and it wasn't a live. It's a recording. He makes these videos. They like video essays. That's the best way to put it. It would be like a video essay. That's the best way to put it.
So the reason why I'm asking is because I know I talk a lot, like for real. Okay,
I think you could do it.
You know what? You're probably look. You would not believe the. Okay, I'm gonna say in the past 2 days, I have had 2.5 to 3.5 hour conversations with 2 different people. It's wild to me that I can, but that's a conversation though. I don't think that I could have a whole 4-hour conversation by myself.
I think you could have a 4-hour. I think you could because of the fact that he was breaking down different things. And he's very good. I think he went to school for sociology or something like that, or psychology, something like that. Social sciences or something. But he's very good at breaking down. He had another video about Beyonce. It was like 2 hours, but he's a Beyonce fan, according to him. But but he did have some nuances that he had with Beyonce and stuff. And he was like, just because I'm a fan don't mean I can't point out the nuances of things that she does.
And I get that. But I think this is why I'm saying that I feel like he has to be a fan. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a family member that I love him to death. Every time we talk, he is going to bring up something about Trump.
Okay.
And so, and he don't like Trump. He always complaining about him.
Okay.
He don't like Trump. But it annoys me so much because, I mean, I know I'm in the world and I live in the U.S. and he's the president, but I honestly don't be paying no attention to nothing this man be doing, right? So it's like the only time I really hear about Trump is with him. And it's like, oh my God, stop. Like, can you go one day without talking about him? So I got to the point now where I just be like, you his number one fan. Because to me, it's like, we can't never go one day or a couple like...
I told him when he when he beat Hillary his first term, I told a lot of older black people that I knew that he ain't gonna win. I was like, he's gonna win. And I said, you know why he's gonna win? Because Hillary talked about him more than he talked about himself. And she did. Her whole, I never knew what Hillary, we knew some of her platform, but her whole platform was, we can't vote this man in. And you talked about him so much that you gave him free publicity to me. Some things I tend to be, I am a conspiracy theorist, and some things I just be like, I don't feel like the man was chosen by us. He was selected. So they wanted whoever they is, since we like to use the word they, quote unquote they, but those people that have power, that have absolute a lot of money and a lot of power, did things to get him in office, and they wanted him there for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. Still trying to figure that out. Besides, because it ain't just white supremacy. It's some
Right, just to see how much they can get away with. I
but
get it.
but I do know that it made no sense. Just just even just even Hillary Clinton, the way she ran made no sense. Like even her not going to Wisconsin. I think she didn't go to Wisconsin or Pennsylvania. And those were votes that she could have probably got if she just showed up. But her not showing up left stuff on the table. And I'm like, why wouldn't you go to 2 swing states? Did you want to win? You know what I'm saying? Like that don't make sense to me. So some things I'm like, maybe she didn't want to win. Maybe they told her not to win. Maybe they told her, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just my conspiracy theory part of it. But only reason I brought that up about him is because he was talking about
and
that,
to my
that
point,
that movie came out, his new movie, Tyler Perry's new movie came out. And I've heard so many different reviews about it. I found it entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest Tyler Perry fan. What I do like about Tyler Perry is that he gives a lot of black people jobs. I love that about him. And he keeps
that's respectable.
a lot of black actors working. Whether he
and he pays them a fair wage.
Whether he that was one thing that the guy did break down in there about how some of those people, he talked about how he even broke down about how Taraji got paid and she got her biggest payday off of him or whatever. But he was like that last movie she did, the movie where she just everything goes wrong. Yeah, Straw. So the last movie she did, he talked about how when they filmed it, she was already in town filming for Peacock. And so he kind of piggybacked off Peacock already having her in town to use her, so he wouldn't have to bring her in and stuff like that, which made him be able to pay her a little bit more. Which I'm like, that's, I think that's a smart move.
I think he's a really smart businessman.
I think he is. I think he's a smart businessman. Like I said, I don't agree with. I ain't even say agree with. I don't like everything he does. I do think some of the movies he do, they end abruptly and they be kind of weird the way they end. But I enjoyed the last movie that just came out, the Joe's thing. But it made me think about the part when at the beginning when he with his son, and his son is Brian is with the kid or whatever. The kid is talking about how racism, basically all the stuff about racism made me think about my kid because he goes to a private school, predominantly white private school. I'm like, man, I gotta really teach this boy because I'm like, I don't want him running around here thinking, you hanging with these people, you think things have changed because they have not.
Right.
And so that was just something it was interesting. But I brought up the FD Signifier because I do like his content too. And since we were talking about content, he is another guy that I think people watch his videos, and all his videos, he got like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 pages on YouTube. And on one page is his video essays. But then he do this thing called like B-sides. And the B-sides be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, I go on there and I see 35K, 20K people have watched this video. And you look through the comments, and these people are actually watching the videos because they are mentioning this stuff that's later on in the video, and it's like, okay, they're actually watching these things. So I'm just telling you, people are watching it more than you think because, like, I believe YouTube has become more of a TV channel than it was. Like, it's not like Instagram. And I think when you get on Instagram, you do get on Instagram to scroll. You get on TikTok.
Exactly.
But when you get on YouTube, you're actually getting on there to consume content.
You're right. And I think because I'm the same way. Like I will watch a video, whatever, because the same thing, I'll have it on in the background while I'm doing something else because I like to use it how everybody else use it. YouTube University, you should go there when you want to learn something and you know it's going to take a while. I guess what I was saying in terms of why I don't feel like anybody's going to watch my long videos are because they don't know me. So let me say this. I have some people that know me that follow me, but that's as much as I hate to say this, I don't believe they're my ideal clients, you know? So
I got you.
for mine to reach who it needs to reach, it needs to be shorter to get watch time to actually get out there to new people.
But I'll say this. Okay, I'm gonna break this down for you. There was a young lady. I remember when she started her page. She played basketball, and she had got hurt playing basketball in college or whatever.
Lily Invest.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember when she only had like 50 of us.
Okay.
Watching her first few things, and she got better and better, and blah blah blah. And then there was another young lady. She had started as a real estate agent. I don't see her as much, but the last time I saw her on her page, she actually, I think she's somewhere in Pennsylvania, maybe Philly, maybe something like that. But last time I watched her page, she had a strong following, and nobody knew neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew Lily Invest, but she grew that page and grew a following and built her business at the same time. So I think you selling yourself short. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is, you can tell me if I'm correct. I just need to create the content, be consistent, and they gonna find me. And then they gonna love me.
I think consistency is the main thing.
Yeah.
Because that's from everything that I can tell from anybody that I've ever talked to that's have built a YouTube system, people that I've talked to or people that I've watched. If you watch their early videos, they suck. And if you watch as they got going and going and going and got into the hundreds of episodes and stuff, it got better. But as the Outlier book says, it takes 10,000 hours to become great at something. So the more you make it, the more you do, the more consistent you are at it. I mean, I think if you call enough people, you will probably become a great salesperson. I
agree.
You know what I'm saying? If you have been in the studio as much as I've been in the studio, you probably can make at least a beat that somebody will pop their head to.
I agree, because I'm all about when I used to teach, I used to always say it's progress over perfection, or so I get it. And then one thing you just said, oh my gosh, like I lost my train of thought, but I'm with you. Like, I feel like you can't do something and not be great at it. That's what I was gonna say, which is why I have to do what I said I was gonna do, because like what I've noticed working with these people is that I hate to say this, but I gotta say I'm better than them. When it comes to being an accountant, I am better.
Why you hate to say it? If you better,
because I think we all, and was it Deion Sanders? Who was that said like he not humble? I think we start off trying to be humble and not wanting to offend anybody else, or because sometimes people do. I grew up in Durham. Okay, I don't want to get into all of that, but I will tell you that was new for me because that was me living in the city when I'm a country girl coming from. So I had never experienced haters before I moved to Durham, and people like picking on you for certain things, and so I always kind of like to stay under the radar. I don't want all the attention. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of where it comes from, which has also been a challenge with social media, because then you're inviting people into your life to know like what you think about things, when everybody always has an opinion about your opinion. And I'm not the type of person, I'm not going back and forth with nobody. So I'd rather you not know, so we don't have to debate about it, because I'm not going to debate, So I feel like all of those things have kind of just made me be like, well, let me be humble, let me be shy. But I feel like when you do those things, sometimes you are inadvertently like dimming your own light, You
are. And I'm gonna just say this. Humble. I had to look it up so I can make sure.
Okay. All right.
One of the definitions of humble is to lower someone in dignity or importance.
And I'm humbling myself, huh? Let's stop,
Yeah,
Mister. Go
yeah,
ahead.
basically, having or showing a modest estimate of one's value or importance.
Hmm. Too
So
modest.
those are not necessarily good definitions, right? I would like to say, I know we always talk about humble, and we get that, especially in church where we get that from the Bible and everything. Pride come before the fall and everything. But
Hmm.
I have never done this, and probably one day if I take time out to look at it, I would probably need to go and look and see what that word humble actually means in the Greek or in the in the Greek or whatever, in Hebrew or Greek,
Yeah.
see what it actually means, because I can guarantee you it's probably a different word, and that's the word that they use.
Then how we use it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
so I
interesting.
say that because like I remember looking up fornication in the Greek, and fornication has nothing to do with sex when you look it up in the Greek.
Bring that one too. I want to know so we can talk about it because I want to see
Yeah,
like I want to see
it
how they
has
got
something to
sex
do.
from it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I can see how they got sex from it and see how they
okay,
can use it, but fornication actually means not adultery, but idolatry. It means idol,
okay,
idol worship. So, sex can become an idol. I
yeah,
get that, but to make it sex without marriage, like where did we get that from? So
right,
that's something that I always say that like I'm not sitting up here saying, oh, go out and have sex with everybody. But I am saying that we when you read the Bible, you should know what you're reading. And so
yeah,
I never
exactly,
looked up humble in the Greek or whatever. Somebody that listens and wants to write and tell us what it means, they can. But I would still go study it myself. Um,
yeah.
but
No, and
when
I
you look
feel
up
like
words, you find out what I remember looking up prosperity in the wealth. Now, not prosperity, wealth. I remember looking up wealth in the Greek and in the Hebrew, and every time I looked it up, yes, that's why I came up with the thought about wealthy thoughts, because every time I looked up wealth, it had so much more to do with just money.
right,
It talked about shelter. Wealth had
yeah,
something to do with shelter. It had something to do with security, being safe.
yeah,
So many different things was in it that it was like, oh, okay, this we've been doing this all. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
once I figured that out, I was like, okay, yeah, you know, you got to study these words out. So that's why I say don't you humbling yourself, but you're literally humbling yourself. You're making yourself of non-importance,
yeah. And I'm
and we
struggling
all
with
do
that
it.
because
Yeah,
yeah, I think because it's something that we're kind of taught, and I think it comes from a place of just like making sure that you don't think that you're bigger than the program, you know what I'm saying? And that like you know where you come from and that you treat everybody equally, etc. And I already have those qualities. So I need to stop the humbleness because if you don't talk about what you bring and I hate to say bring to the table because when it comes to relationships, I know that's the topic that I don't want to say, but like it's like when you do bring something of value, like don't minimize that because if you minimize it, other people will minimize it. They'll feel like you're not as confident in what you're doing. So it's like I'm just realizing how much it backfires and I'm still struggling with like not coming off like first of all, one of
yeah.
my favorite songs is Better Than You by Cardi B. So I'm trying not to like come off like how I be,
Yeah,
like
I find myself a lot of times, not thinking I'm, trying to, because you like, hey, I wonder if I can really do this. Am I really good at this? Am I really gonna be good at this and stuff like that? And the thing is that at some point you have to be like, I mean, if I've been good at all the other stuff, I probably could be good at this if I tried. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm one that just believe this is where I go with. I'm one that believe that if something drops in your spirit a lot of times, and it's not necessarily something that is like it's egging at you. It's just it drops there. It's like, man, maybe I should try this. Um, Most likely, if something good and something bad, and most likely that's from God. And most likely, if you go out there and try it, you can do it. I'm just one of those people that I just believe that we have so many hidden talents, like, um,
yeah,
you know, you know, I was since I'm just gonna bring some of my church, some of my what they call it, hermeneutics, whatever they call it. I'm gonna bring some of
Yo,
that.
what?
What they call that word? I can't remember the word, but
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know,
bring
but that
some of
was
that out.
real churchy, whatever you just said.
So I'm gonna bring some of this out. But you know, there's a verse in the Bible. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but it talks about the angels going around God, and every time they went around, they see the different facts.
Okay.
Every time they circle them, they see something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time reading that, and I was like, so if I'm made in His image, then I still have not. It don't matter how long I live on this earth, I'm probably not gonna know everything about myself because I'm that I'm that I'm made. I'm in the image of God, so I'm that
Right.
interested. I have so
Right.
much, and that's not just me. That's everybody. You know, if you're made in the image of
Exactly.
God, then you have so much things to you. You will never know all the things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I tell people, like, you know, a lot of people say I'm a late bloomer or whatever, but I don't feel like I'm a late bloomer. I feel like I'm just at a point now where it's like I got all these things in me that I know I can do. I'm gonna do and
Yeah.
whatever I got to do to get them out, I'm gonna get them out. And it ain't about it making money. Who's to say I put all this stuff out. I do these books. I do the script, and it gets sold. And I may die, but my kids can get the money from it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, and I leave something for the next generations. So it for me is what my man said. Les Brown used to say, "Die empty."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's about that for me. So I think you got it. I think you're gonna be all right. Go and hit on and start making the content. If you need some help,
Look, I love that this turned into like a I don't know, a brainstorm session. I got all the gems for me. Like, hey, I love it. Hopefully somebody else can take something from it as
that's
well.
that's what this is all about, right? Wealthy thoughts. We gonna bring out all the stuff that
Yeah.
people, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of times people just need to hear that they can do. You know what I'm saying? That they need to see
Right.
somebody that's doing it. You know, see somebody that's doing something that anybody can do. You know, everybody can't do everything, but if you got something inside of you, if you got something inside of you, most likely it's something you can do. You just got to figure out how to get it done at a good level, at a high level. That's
Exactly.
that's
No, I love
that's
that. And just like pursuing your dream and like trying. And when you said something about like sometimes people might think that they're not ready or they're not smart enough or they don't have everything that they need. I just remember matter of fact, I think I heard it at when we were at the old brokerage and it
Mhm.
was you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And so one thing that I will say I always try to figure out like what lesson I can learn out of every situation, no matter like what
No
type
doubt.
of however I perceive it. And I will say that again, me taking these opportunities in quotations did not turn out what I thought they would be. But I will tell you the one thing that came out of it was like I said, I realized I don't need to be humble because now this is gonna sound real cocky. Maybe that's the problem because I'm also a Scorpio, so I be trying not to sound cocky. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it right. But I feel like even on my worst day, I'm better than them when it comes to
Talk
accounting.
your shit.
Right?
Talk your shit.
Only because you can't. I feel like accounting was never really my passion. It was
Mhm.
something that I went to school for accounting, and I heard it was a hard major, so I stuck with it as a challenge. And then I just started working at it, and it paid good. And even though I'm living this corporate life, I was younger, so I was like having fun. As soon as work, was over, I'm living a double life kind of right. Like, how was your weekend? Good. You don't need to know nothing about me. That's how it was. So even though I wasn't fulfilled, I'm like, I think I'm ready for something else. Something else I was gonna say, like, I believe we're meant to have different lives, so to speak. Like, yeah, I've done accounting for a while. I got all of these different gifts. I think I want to try this now, right? So that's what I was going to do. But as I was keeping up with my CPE classes, I found an area that I did have an interest in, like a niche area. So I was like, you know what, I'll do it because I realized that even though at the time I didn't have a passion for it because I'm working for corporate America, and so it's like, who am I helping? I'm helping rich people get richer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really helping people. I know that's not my purpose, but when I found this one niche where I'm like, I actually care about this cause, this can help this. And I actually know what I'm doing, because I find it very hard to believe that you can do anything for 23 years and not be good at it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just realized, like, part of this was like, oh, he's at a CPA firm. I started a firm, but I didn't stick with it because I got licensed as a real estate agent shortly after that. So this would be great to learn exactly how a CPA firm works versus I'm used to working for a corporation. Gotcha. And I just realized, like, y'all not, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say this. Yeah, I know you say it's hard, but I see it a lot. People that's been in a field for 20 years, almost about to retire from the field, and they're not, and they still don't know their job. Don't know how to do their job. And
that's true. You're right. My bad.
Yeah. So I see it, and I've been around it, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So
yeah, you're right. You're right, because I worked with a girl that worked 4 years in Treasury and still didn't know how to do a bank rec. Yeah, she knew how to press the button to let the system do it, but other than that, yeah, she didn't realize.
Because some people don't want to be good at stuff. Some people just want to get back. And they just happy with getting the check and getting back. And then there's some people that just, whatever they do, they're going to try to be good at it just because that's what's in them. And then there's some people that love something and they get good at it because they love it. It's different people. I tend to be the person that I could be doing something I don't like to do, but just because I'm doing it, I'm like, let me do the best I can do at the shit. It's just something like that. That's just something that's in me. I know that from I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and I've been good at all the jobs that I've had because I just wanted to be good at it because I was doing it. It's like, I'm here, let me do the best I can do while I'm here.
Yes.
I'm gonna be out of here at some point. And so
exactly. And honestly, I would tell you that's kind of my thing too. I've started to learn. I just have a strong work ethic, because even when I saw what they were doing, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm like, well, let me just do what they're doing. It's like, I can't look at it and do it knowing that it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a struggle that I'm putting in all of this effort. When you think about it, it's like, before I was here, y'all didn't even care about this. So why am I kind of stressing myself out about this? But you're right. It's the work ethic. And then, so I feel like I fall into the last two that you said, because they're like, that's how it came with real estate. I was just studying because of my own experience, and I wanted to be able to not have to use a realtor the next time I went through it. But then when I started learning about it, I'm like, oh my God, this is probably why I experienced this, because these agents, like, I want to be what I didn't have. So that's how you do start like learning more, because it's like, oh, I want to be able to tell people this or actually speak knowledgeable about that. So yeah, that's why I'm finally just like, you know what, you just gonna have to find a way to you see, I'm about to still say humbly, like, humbly toot your own horn. I don't know, like
no way to humbly toot your own horn. You just got to toot your horn.
Just got to toot your horn.
And people gonna think what they gonna think, right? I mean, at the end of the day, people gonna think what they gonna think. You can not toot your horn and somebody's still gonna be like, she thinks she all that.
Truest words ever spoken.
So it don't matter. I tried my best to not bring attention to myself. But sometimes in doing that, it makes me look like I don't care about stuff, or I'm nonchalant or whatever. On the inside, I'm probably boiling, but I'm just, it's not that big of a deal for me. I had a guy tell me, he was telling me, when I was going through the process to become a lieutenant, I was number one on the test out of however many people took the test, and I was number one on it, and so we got the process coming up probably soon to be a captain. And the guy said, hey, this guy said he's gonna be number one on the captain test, and I said, that's good for him. I'm happy if he become number one. He's great. I didn't go into this thing to try to be number one on the test. I just wanted to do the best I could do. The best I could do made me number one. That was it. I mean, and it's not I'm not in competition with you. You're in competition with other people, but you're in competition with yourself. If you be the best you can be, can't nobody beat that. That's the way I look at it. Because can't nobody beat you being you. So if you be the best you can be, can't nobody beat that. So that's where I'm at. I know we kind of went over the hour. We having this good conversation, but I'm gonna ask you, you already kind of told us what you got going on, so we
Right. Told it all.
we're gonna be looking for some content from you and everything.
You know what? Honestly, it's coming because like you done poured into me, Randy. Okay. I ain't gonna let it go to waste. You done gave all this free business advice. I'm going to implement it. Okay.
And you always call me and we can talk about some other stuff because I have a lot of advice that I have and give. I don't even use my damn self.
That part. Remember I told you I realized that was the people I be talking to.
Yeah,
I won't even take it
myself.
using
my damn self. I'll be like, damn, I could have did that. But I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes it ain't. Sometimes you got the advice and you got the knowledge, but you just, you got other things going on.
Yeah, you encourage me. Go ahead and do my 5-minute videos. I'm just have to put them on YouTube. Like,
yeah, I do your 5-minute videos, and then you can break those 5-minute videos down and take pieces of it and put it on Instagram.
Yeah,
and then put the link in your bio and tell people to go to your YouTube channel.
The crazy part was that was my plan, but see, so much stuff like that was my plan a while ago. But since I done put off the content, I low key forgot that was the plan. Once I actually posted, that I'm actually finally ready to make the content. I'm like, don't know, like I'm back at square one. Forgot about it. But I think TikTok is really good because, like how you just said, like I will watch long videos if I'm interested in them. If I'm on TikTok and they talking about something, now I'm not gonna lie, my attention span. I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna listen to 2X. I'm gonna listen to 2X.
I don't know how long you could do a reel for on Instagram, but I know some of those reels, I've watched a reel for 2-3 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be sitting there like, okay, this got to hurry up and get over with. But that's because it's on Instagram. If it's on YouTube, I'll probably just sit there and watch it. Like, okay, it's what they talking about.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So they don't grab my attention.
So look, I'm gonna give you another glimpse inside my mind, right? Because I just thought of it. I'm like, what I could do is just divide it up into, if it end up being 5 minutes, divide it up into like 5 1-minute videos. But here is the overthinker in me, right? The overthinker is, how is it gonna look on my grid when you go to my profile? So if it was you, would you post it in reverse order so that the first video? And then you're like, are you really coming up with all these reasons?
Really, this is what we doing. This is what we doing.
I'm asking Mr. Business Consultant.
This is what we're doing. So I'm gonna give you this. There's a I'm gonna shout her out.
Okay.
She's from Atlanta. I don't know her. I just started watching her little reels on
all right. I love ATL.
I just started watching her little reels on Instagram. She's pretty. She got some pretty funny stuff. It's Key Techniques. She does braids, right? But she makes
braids.
She does braids. But she makes these AI cartoon videos, right? And she just posts them. She posts them, and so they like the first one is up, and so like you just said, she got the first one, and then the second one is after it. You just if you can, I just happened to be scrolling and ran across one of the things. She had like a part. I think she had one thing it was like 8 parts to it. And I think I hit part 6. And because what was going on in part 6 had me so interested, I went to her page and went all the way back to part 1 to start watching the shit.
Got you.
So that's my best way to tell you, like, if somebody interested in what you're talking about, they're gonna go and try to find out what you're doing.
See, you're right. Look, I need that PR person you was talking about. I just can't pay them. So look, that's gonna be my plug. Let me hear my plug. If anybody is willing to do some free PR work, meaning you don't get paid until I get the first deal. It ain't free. It's just a delayed payment.
Delayed payment. When I get paid, you get paid.
Exactly. I need you.
You never know. It may be a young cat out here, young lady, young man out here that's trying to get his foot in PR, get his or her foot in the PR. They may say, hey, I could do it.
That's what I'm saying, because I'm good for it. I'll sign the contract. I'm good for it. I'm gonna keep my word now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't in the budget right now. I told you I'm about to quit these jobs. Okay.
So I mean, hopefully, PR person, come on, help her out.
Come on.
Help her out. You
Help
can
a
help me out
cause.
too if you want to. You
Right.
can do a contract too.
Help a
So
cause.
if you got
Now I ain't paying for Randy's work, but
I got you once we start making some money. I got you. I got a little bit of money coming
love
in.
it.
Not a lot.
Love it.
Not a
Matter of fact,
lot.
we might need to.
Not with these schools. Not with these schools trying to go up on the price.
I'm about to ask you what your kids doing. They old enough to do some marketing on social.
They ain't quite there yet.
Editing? They ain't gonna do no editing. Like,
no, I wouldn't even let them do no editing. They shoot. They got too much work that they doing at school. And then my oldest, he too busy doing his thing. So I don't know. He probably would piss me off. He probably wouldn't edit it well. Piss me off. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think just do it and see what happens. I mean, what can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Nothing.
Right. Honestly, I'm with you.
You already got nothing going on, so I don't believe that nothing can happen. I think if you do something, I look at this page and we have gained subscribers since we started.
Okay.
I remember when it ain't a lot of subscribers. It may not even be at 50 yet, but it's still more subscribers than when it started. And so the thing is that it happens. You get that one viral moment. It may be we may have start talking about something one time and we get that one viral moment and that's what it is. And there you go. Country Wayne started. I'm quite sure when he started, it wasn't but one or two people watching, and it was comedy. Yeah. And now he got a whole damn Country Wayne universe on Facebook, on YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
And he making all that money. So I mean, if you do something that you love to do and you're consistent at it, I think it pays off because most people are not consistent. Most people don't.
I agree. And now that we're talking about this, I guess since I've already kind of been transparent, thinking about it, I think another thing that holds me back is like, oh my God, I hate to admit this, but if you know me personally, you already know I kind of struggle with this. Perfectionist. Like, I know nothing is perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I know nobody on this earth is perfect, but I try to put out content where it's like, okay, I like my hair. I like this. Like, I'm not critiquing, but I'm so detail oriented that I'm always critiquing something. And it's at this point,
that's a Achilles heel for a lot of people. And that perfectionism is sometimes steeped in worrying about what somebody's going to say.
Exactly. And so now that I've said that to you, and that we're talking, I have to make sure that I overcome that. When I look at a video and I'm like, oh my God, I don't like why did I do that? Or why did I say, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even though y'all probably gonna be paying attention to this now. I use like so much. That's one of my favorite words. But then when I'm listening to a video, I hate that why do I keep saying like, but you know what, next time, it don't matter, post it. Post it.
I stutter. I say a lot on these. I watch the videos, I'll be like, dang, I said a lot. I'm trying to get better at it, you know what I'm saying? That's part of doing it. But it's real life, right? I'm not on here trying to be fake. I'm not trying to be fake on here. I ain't trying to impress nobody. I can't say that. I am trying to impress people. I do want you to watch this shit. But I don't want to be fake with it. I'm not gonna be on here and just make up stuff to talk about. I need to learn and be better at public speaking. But I think that's part of, when you do stuff, that's part of the attraction. Sometimes is that people just like you for you. Like, okay, this dude just being real. He's just being who he is. And so, that's why I said you ain't have to have that background back there. You go back there and play that piano. No, I'm just playing.
That is funny because I was about to go in on you. I like how you flipped that around. I'm about to say, is that here because you talking about my white wall? Okay. Hey. Let me go to my piano. You tripping?
Go back there and play that piano. But no, I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, I do understand. Like I set this up so that I can have a background, right? It's what I wanted. It probably ain't the most aesthetically whatever background or whatever, but it's what I wanted. It's what I wanted to look at. If I'm like, okay, you can see my little books you can see the books I wrote. The 48 Laws of Power. I think I'm about to take that down and find something else to put up. But the mama mentality, I wanted that and hustle. And then I got my my green light behind me, which I can change the color if I want to and do all the different stuff. But it was something that I wanted. I set it up the way I wanted, and as I go on, make more money, and if I want to change it, eventually I would want the show to be a live show. Eventually, I would want to do something where we're actually in a studio together, and things like that. But right now, this is where we at, and this is good because it's at least getting something done. Whereas there's people who talk about, I'm gonna do this, and they ain't doing nothing. So
don't be talking about me in my face like that.
No. But you are.
I'm messing with you.
You're doing this, right?
Right. Look, no, I'm messing with you because I just said that. Like,
but you are doing this, right? So
right,
So at the end of the day, you are doing something, and that's all it's about. That's what it's all
and
about.
To be real with you, I was happy with my white wall. You just called me out about it. So I was just like I told you before, I was like, I don't want to hear about it. And he told me that he didn't want to see it. So let me just throw something else up here. That's the only reason I did that. But I will say I don't think of myself as an interior designer, but I do want to try to make my space more me. And so I got ideas of what I'm going to put here. I already got the 2 pictures, but I want to put more, I don't know if you remember at my old place, I had this wall decal. I think it said be the best version of yourself. I love that, but I didn't want to have the same one because I already got the same furniture. So I don't want it to feel like the same place, just a different location. So hopefully that comes in time. And by the time we do the next one, it will be decorated. So,
right.
But yeah,
and if it ain't, I don't mind looking at your white wall. I just listen.
So you look, whatever you do, I don't want to see no virtual again, is what I'm hearing. Am I getting it?
I don't care. My other co-host used to have virtual sometimes because she was having stuff going on in the background, and so she would just have a virtual going on. So it's no big deal. I don't care either way.
Yeah, because to be honest with you,
if it's a white wall, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It really don't matter. I was messing with you, and I don't even think I said nothing on. Did I say something on the show, or did I say something after?
I don't remember, but you said it. It don't matter. But you know what? The funny thing is, it wasn't even the fact that you said it. It was something that I was already thinking. Dang, I gotta. But it was like I told you, I haven't had time to do anything new. Everything is just the routine and maintaining. And so that's why, when you said, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not going to film for another month. That's plenty of time. That did not happen. And then now my place looks crazy because if all that other stuff wasn't over there, what I would have did is just went to the other side of the island and just had my living room in the background.
And that would have been cool. And so, I mean, I got all this stuff and I got this, but literally I hadn't been down in this studio in a while, since I finished up everything, and I hadn't been down in the studio and down here to do this in a while because it was tiresome just to come down the stairs to do it. You know what I'm saying? I just had a lot of personal stuff going on. And when you have all this personal stuff going on, then you working like crazy. It's and people ask me, when do I get time to sleep? I sleep. It just ain't a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I sleep. It just ain't a lot. I mean, I think one day I will slow down a little bit and it'll be better. I just finished my bachelor's degree, so that's one thing done.
Okay, congrats.
And so that'll
be doing it.
Yeah, so we just getting stuff done, doing stuff. And there it goes. I think it's it's just that's what life is, right? And I tell people all the time, I tell my son all the time, don't when you get this age, you want to be floating. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, and I'm not floating. I'm still going because I got so much stuff that I feel like I didn't do when I was younger. And right. I was and if you got that when you get older, that's fine. I just know me. I got a lot of stuff that I still feel like I got on the inside of me that I want to get done. And so I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, the older you get, the more you be like, I don't give a fuck what nobody think about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? If I decide to do another rap album, so what that I'm 50 doing a rap album? I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's there's these two white British dudes that got, I can't think of their name right now. They all over Instagram and stuff, and they rap and they dope too. I can't even lie about it. They dope. But they two white British dudes. They some old dudes rapping. But it's dope. Like the beats be banging and everything. You know,
they in their own lane.
They in their own lane. They doing their own thing. They found something to do. I don't know if you want to call it cultural appropriation. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm like, I don't think they trying to make fun of it. I think they like rap, they like music, and they got old and it was like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. I'm just do this shit.
Right.
And so and so I watch. That's what I'm about. Like, I want people to do the things that they love to do. I just was working on an old song that I had worked on with this young lady. And I was telling her, I said, hey, I remade the song. I remade the beat. I threw I threw your vocals. I threw your vocals in AI so that AI would fix the vocals for it. You know, make the vocals match up. I'm like, listen to this and tell me what you think. And she loved it. And so I'm like, let's see if we can, work on some things. See, if you got stuff that you wrote. And we can get back in the studio and work on some things. She done got a little older now, but I'm like, it don't matter. I mean, you're in your 30s. You can still. Ain't anybody out here saying you about to be Beyonce or nobody like that. But you can go if you can make an extra $1,500 a month doing music. Who wouldn't want to do it if that's what they like to do?
Yeah, and I mean, I understand we all got bills. I just told you that I got some stuff coming up that I was budgeting for, but I feel like also it really isn't about the money, or maybe that's just me, but I feel like if you're doing something that you love, sometimes that's just enough.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
just enough.
and it's going to like
money because it costs money to do stuff, right? So
yeah,
it costs money to do stuff. So you if you could just break even sometimes, that's great.
Yeah.
I pay for a prop stream for real estate so that I can look up different houses and stuff. I sell one house, I already paid for prop stream for the whole year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it, at the end of the day. It gives me a little bit of edge. I can see a little bit more stuff than other realtors see. And I can see stuff, if somebody called me from out of town, I can look up stuff for them too, which hopefully as time goes on, they'd be like, hey, it was a realtor that looked up this thing. And, I know a guy down in Atlanta that needs something. And they can send that person my way. That's what it's all about. If you can help somebody, hopefully they'll send it back to you. They'll return.
I agree. And I think that's my point. If you're helping people, I feel like you're automatically gonna money is gonna come to you. If you're more, not you, but I'm just saying in general, that's kind of like my approach for me doing content. I'm like, if I put the content out, even there might be people that use my content to get ahead that I won't benefit at all from financially. And that's okay, because even just the word of mouth of like, oh, how did you do that? Like, I just did such and such because there's this girl that I watch and she said this, and that. So for the other person that don't want to take all the time to do everything themselves, they might use me as a resource, because you kind of have to share the information. People have to try it to know that it does work before they start trusting you. So that's why I feel like creating content in my mind is just like the answer to all of my problems.
I think it will be, and I think you're gonna do good at it. We've been talking about this forever, though. So
yeah, we have. All right. So anyway, we can wrap it up. Let the people know how they can find you.
No, when I was talking about, when I was saying we've been talking about content forever. I'm talking about. We've been talking about content since 2021, 2022, and again, back to what I said. That was why when I was looking for another host. That's you were the first person that came to mind, because I was like, we've been talking about this content and doing content forever, and this is the start. This gets you comfortable. This gets you started.
That's exactly why I agreed to do it. I was like, okay, and I think not to say you call me out, but you don't take it personal when I use certain terms. Okay, I'm from Durham, I just say things, right? But like when you called me out and was like, hey, I was looking through YouTube and I came across a page. I seen you hadn't posted nothing, so I was thinking about this, and that, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I start doing content with you, I'll feel more comfortable. That'll be what I need. And then, like, how long have we been doing it and it still ain't happened? But again, it's
But it
because
takes time.
my
It takes
time,
sometimes.
yeah. And I didn't have the time, and now I'm about to have the time, so now I ain't gonna have no excuse. Okay, so yeah.
So I'll be calling you out again.
No, you won't. But okay, look, because I'm gonna do it this time. Okay, like.
Gotcha. That's what I want to hear. So look, we already know what you got going on.
Yes.
You're gonna do some content. Anything else that you want to let people know?
Well, I'm gonna do content to let people know all the things that I talked about in the beginning of the video. I kind of went down a rabbit hole, so I'm not gonna do it again. So just look out at Spice Real Tea. And what is so crazy, it is, well, my clock is a little bit quicker. No, it's 11:11 right now.
1-1. Yeah.
11:11.
Yeah. It's 11:11.
So yes, when I tell you, God been giving me signs. Okay, yeah, like sorry.
There you go.
You even use you, Randy, just to like for real. You just don't even know it. Like I like at one point something you were saying, it felt like, okay, God, you using Randy too? Who always let me stop messing with you. I'm messing with you. Tell me how they can find you.
They can find me, forget you, and they can find me on IG. You can find me at Randy R. Graham at Randy R. Graham on IG. If you go there, my there's a link in the bio where you can find all the other stuff I'm doing. Real estate. I'll also put a link to the album. It is on all the streaming platforms. It's on YouTube. If you don't have the streaming platforms, on YouTube. It's on Prime. It's on Tidal. It's on everything. So you can go there and listen to the album. It's called Time and Intention. Randy Graham presents Yomi Music. Yomi Music is my company that has been my company for 20 plus years. Other thing we got going is just like I said, just working on the real estate and things like that. You can give me a call at 404-438-7113. If you got any questions about real estate or anything else, we out. Good show, Spice Realty.
All right. S Spice Realty, but okay.
S Spice Realty.
Have I ever said it before? I know it lives in the movie.
Peace.
In the back of a 77 Lactaville, I was conceived on leather seats with smooth beats that still resonate through my soul. I never hesitate to flow cold, illuminate through your peepholes and detonate on black foes. These neonates been born, but still sworn to their childish ways. Slaves without chains cause they minds is haze. Spirits ablaze, soldiers who don't know who to fight. So-called leaders with cliches told you to love everything that's white. So when we get on, we leave goddesses for white girls. God, this is not the right world. God, this is some shit. We need to stop pretending this, cause ain't shit about them motherfuckers that's supremacists. Behind closed doors, fear genders I suppose. Bio warfare composed, and we rather believe conspiracy when it's exposed. We'd rather complain that we not treated the same. But to wanna be like rapists, murderers, and thieves, that's just insane. You gon' learn today. Every time I step to the mic and push play, I make your mind go crazy. Give you some shit that's real. My legendary status been sealed. Yomi Music, giving you some shit you can feel. You gon' learn today. Every time I step to the mic and push play, I make your mind go crazy. Give you some shit that's real. My legendary status been sealed. Ray Kane in the journal, giving you some shit you can feel.